If you live in the Northern Hemisphere and you've already got your pepper plants outside, you might have noticed that they kind of stopped growing for a while. Or if you haven't got them out yet, but in years past you've put them out after your last frost date and realized they just kind of sat there for like a month, right? And then all of a sudden they started growing really fast in the summer. There's a reason for that. In this video, I'm going to explain to you why that happens and what you can do to prevent that stalled period to grow your peppers faster and healthier than you ever have before. Let's get started. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Boss. I am a Colorado certified gardener and a lover of all things spicy. One of the things that I do every year in my garden is wait for that last frost date, give it a couple of days, and then go plant out. Because I have hundreds of pepper seedlings, dozens of tomato seedlings, dozens of flower seedlings, dozens of herb seedlings, all kinds of plants hanging out here in my basement, taking up all of the spare space that I don't have. I can't wait to get them outside. And so here in Colorado, my average last frost date is typically around May 10th, May 11th. If I were looking at that this year, I'd go, okay, the weekend after that, just because that's when I have the most time, is like the 15th. I'm going to plant everything out then. But what happens every year is those plants go out, they get transplanted, the garden looks great, and then it looks exactly the same all the way through May and well into June. Why is that? Well, because of one really important factor that I overlook, a lot of gardeners overlook, and this year I am determined to not mess this up. That is temperature. Pepper plants come from a tropical climate, right? Peppers, tomatoes, watermelons, all that kind of stuff. If you want to grow that in a cooler climate, like North America, for example, you got to be really, really smart about it. Now, of course, you can put them out, like I said, and sit and wait for a month, and your plants will eventually acclimate and start growing again. And you think, well, that's just transplant shock, or they're a little bit slow right now. Maybe I should feed them. You don't need to feed them. You need to wait before they go outside. Pepper plants really prefer air temperatures to stay above 60 degrees Fahrenheit or about 15 degrees Celsius. Ideally, it's even warmer. Their real happy zone is kind of that 75 to 85 degrees Fahrenheit, so above 22 degrees or so Celsius is when they're really going to thrive. But above 60, they're at least not going to really have that huge metabolic shock that's going to slow all of their processes down. But that's the air temp. One of the most overlooked things, and something that I've already started to get better about this year, is soil temp. Putting these roots out into cold soil can actually be more damaging to the health and speed of growth of your pepper plant than the air temperature. And there is a huge difference typically, especially in the spring, between your air temp and your soil temp. And you also need to consider what time of day you check that temperature. It's best to go out and check your soil temp early in the morning. Here I am looking in my yard, just checking out a couple of my raised beds. It's actually closer to noon, so I should have done this 4 hours ago. But what I'm doing right now is just sticking a thermometer, a soil temp probe in there, and it is telling me that my soil is actually pretty warm here in this directly southern exposed bed. It's about 60 degrees, a little warmer in some spots. This bed has been baking for 4 hours in the sun, and it only got it up to 60 degrees. What's important to remember is that your soil holds that thermal mass and moves a little bit more slowly than your air temperature does. So the sun can make the air feel really warm. I mean, look at this. When I pull the thermometer out, the air temp is actually 64 degrees in my yard today, but this directly in the sun is showing about 90 degrees, right? So that sun is hot in the air. As soon as you go into the soil a couple of inches, 60 degrees. Pepper plants really need that soil to stay above 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Ideally, it stays above 65 degrees Fahrenheit. All of the plant processes, the metabolic activity starts kind of in the root zone of your plant. So when it's uptaking nutrients, it's uptaking water, all of that happens through a very specific biologic process that gets slowed down to basically a stop when you get soil temps below 60 degrees. So if your nighttime temps, the air temps, are still like 55, maybe even up to 60 degrees, there's no way your soil is going to retain all of that daytime heat, and it's going to drop down. So if you measure your soil temp early in the morning, you're going to see it's even cooler than if you check it in the middle of the day. Usually it only fluctuates a few degrees, up to maybe 5 or 6 degrees. Kind of depends on how intense your sun is and whether or not you have mulch on top of that soil. So what can I do? Because I have a short growing season, I can't just wait until middle of June when that soil naturally comes up to about 70 degrees. The air temp stays above 65 degrees even at night. Yes, every year that's when my plants thrive in the garden. But what if I could take advantage of that 4 weeks ahead of that time to actually have them warm and thriving then? There's a couple of things we can do, and it's going to kind of depend on your climate, your particular garden setup, and how much work you're willing to put in, right? You can't control the air temp unless you have a glass house or, like a hoop house or a high tunnel, whatever you want to call it. If you have some way to actually enclose the air, then you can actually warm the air up. But if you're like me, you've got an open air garden, I can't put a heater out there and have any meaningful impact other than to my, utility bills. What I can do is focus on that soil temperature, right? So you can actually do a couple of things. You've heard me talk about mulch on this channel plenty of times before. In the middle of the season, mulch is your best friend because it'll actually keep moisture in the soil when the sun is out and it's 90 degrees and it's beating down on your garden. That'll help keep the root zone cooler at that time. But what we don't want right now is a cooler root zone. And so what you should do in the early spring, maybe a couple of weeks before you're getting ready to plant out, if you still have mulch on your beds from last year, go out there and dig it off. Get that bare soil exposed so that it'll capture more of that sunlight and absorb that heat. Soil is a dark color, which helps absorb that heat. The moisture content in your soil actually also helps hold some of that heat in, so give that soil a watering. That sounds a little counterintuitive because your hose water is probably pretty cold this time of year. Trust me, get it wet early in the morning ideally, and then let the sun bake on it all day. That'll help bring that soil temperature up, and you'll want to leave that mulch off of your garden probably for the first 4 to 6 weeks of your season. You don't really need that mulch until those temps are so hot you're more worried about cooling down that root zone. And so that's one thing you can do to warm up. The other thing a lot of people do that I'm going to give a try this year, I haven't done before, is put down some plastic mulch. So I haven't got it yet, so I can't demonstrate it, but it's on order. I am going to try putting down plastic mulch. I've got both black and clear plastic coming because I want to see if one works better than the other. I've heard that clear plastic actually works better because it lets more of that heat energy through rather than having to absorb it into the plastic and then into the soil, and then keeps it trapped in just as well as the black, or maybe even better. So I'm going to try that. But basically, it's really just using black sheets of plastic or clear sheets of plastic on top of your soil. Again, pull the mulch out first. Let that sun bake in during the day, heat up that root zone, heat up that soil, and then trap it with the plastic. So that can actually get you started earlier. You can cut holes in all your planting zones for that mulch. If you use plastic, you need to have a watering solution. I use drip irrigation, so I'm going to put the plastic over my drip lines this year just so that I can keep water going in as well as keeping the heat and moisture in. And I'm going to go out there and pull it back every couple of days just to help reoxygenate the soil, make sure that I'm not creating like an anaerobic environment or something gross in there, right? But that's really your second best option for controlling the temperature in your garden, to make sure it's warmer earlier in the season so that your plants don't have that thermal shock that's really going to slow them down. Tomatoes are even worse about this, by the way. So really think any warm season crop, but like peppers are a little more tolerant of cooler temps. Tomatoes, you really want that soil to be above 70 degrees or they are going to just stop all growth activity. They're going to be like, I'm not doing it. Warm me up, pour me a hot cup of coffee, and maybe I'll think about it. But nope, not in the cold. So there's one other thing that I could recommend if you've already got your plants outside. Maybe plastic mulch isn't really an option. Let's say you've already pulled your mulch back or you don't have mulch, but your soil temps are still pretty low. The other things you can consider doing is like adding things with more thermal mass. So if you have like stones, like landscaping stones around your yard, you can try and pile some of those up around the base of your plants, kind of right above the root zone. Those will absorb that daytime sunshine and hold that heat a little bit longer than just the soil would. It's going to be a small impact, but if all you need is a couple of degrees and, kind of limp your plants along because in the next few days it's really going to warm up and stay warm, that's something else you can try. But for me to try and get my plants out sometime in May but have warm soil for them, my strategy is going to be no mulch, let that soil heat up during the daytime, and then put plastic on the top on some of my beds to really trap that heat in and see if I can maintain better soil temperatures earlier in May to get my plants out and keep them growing and thriving. Now, just a quick note, this is not a thriving plant. I don't know if you can see, this thing is beat up. It has been chewed on by the cat. It's got holes in it, like a bite taken out of the leaf. But I've also been keeping it in a windowsill where it's getting really cold at night, probably down to like 50 degrees. So it hasn't grown in the last 2 to 3 weeks either. I've stunted this plant. I don't know if I'm going to keep it, but just didn't want you to think this is what my plants actually look like. Look at this sad thing. It's lanky, it's floppy. That's because I'm not taking care of it. But you should take care of your plants. You should always make sure you're checking both the air temperature and the soil temperature before you even consider putting them outside. You can say, oh, it's fine, they won't die, but they will absolutely slow down and it will impact their long-term health later in the season. Cooler temps in the spring absolutely impact the size and quality of your harvest in the fall. So take the best care of your plants in the spring and they will take the best care of you when it's harvest time. That's it for this video. If you like this, please consider joining as a member. I have a lot of extra content that is coming just for my members. You also get early access to content. You also get free seeds when I have cool things I want to share. It's worth it. It's not expensive, and it helps this channel a lot. Consider it, and always remember, plants help us grow.